What's up, guys? So today I am very excited to share with you guys the full kits for Karnak and Crystal. As a whole, the Inhuman team is alleged to be an arena and war-focused team that specializes in neutralizing summoning and reviving while putting out tons of damage thanks to a pair of powerful blasters, as well as distributing tons of debuffs thanks to a pair of potent controllers and a very unique protector. While we don't know the full extent of what this team can manage, we got some good footage of them taking down an X-Men hybrid with Phoenix, and rumor has it they can also take on the Asgardians in war, so I'm really looking forward to putting this team to the test. But enough jib-jab, let's take a look at their kits. We'll start with Karnak. Karnak's tags are Hero, Cosmic, Skill, Controller, and Inhuman. He's pretty fast at 120 speed, he has excellent focus and gains a bit more when paired with Quake. He does moderate damage and he has low health and armor, but that's pretty standard for a controller. Now something to keep in mind, the Inhuman team has a ton of supplemental defense. Karnak will gain 50% max health and 40% resistance from Black Bolt, 50% chance to gain evade on turn from Yo-Yo, as well as defense up on dropping below 50% health, and he'll also gain a big heal and cleanse from Crystal when dropping below 50% health, which we'll talk about next. Plus, the enemies will be offense down at the start of every turn thanks to Yo-Yo, so just be mindful that these base stats don't tell the whole story. Alright, enough lecturing, let's look at his abilities. Karnak's basic is Precise Attack. Clear evade and attack primary target for 280% damage. If the primary target has a negative effect, gain 25% crit chance for this attack. This attack cannot be dodged. So undodgeable basics are always cool with me. The extra crit chance is nice as well, as Karnak can use his special on turn 1 to dish out several debuffs. Speaking of which, Karnak's special is Crippling Blows. This ability costs 6 energy and starts full. Attack primary target for 260% damage and change speed bar minus 20% and apply slow for 2 turns. Chain to 3 adjacent targets for 200% damage and apply slow for 2 turns, and this attack cannot be counterattacked. So covering the enemy team in slows while rewinding the primary target's speed bar is the type of control I like to see, and it sets up Black Bolt perfectly if he decides to basic attack. Karnak's ultimate is Pressure Points. This ability costs 8 energy and starts full. Attack primary target for 400% damage and clear all positive effects. If Black Bolt is an ally, gain 100,000 extra focus for this attack and apply Disrupted. So while I'm not a big fan of this being an 8 energy cooldown, the fact that it's available on turn 1 combined with the fact that Karnak is a naturally fast character means that Karnak joins a small group of characters who will always potentially be one patch away from rejoining the arena meta in a future patch. And finally, Karnak's passive is the Magister. On turn, choose one random enemy. If they have a positive effect, flip the positive effect to a negative effect, otherwise apply defense down. Gain 10% focus, gain 10% focus for each Inhuman ally, and gain 10% dodge chance. So this passive is pretty random, but ultimately, a buff flip is one of the biggest ways to dramatically swing a fight. If Karnak randomly chooses a target with defense up and flips it to defense down, that could immediately allow him to land a killing blow with his ultimate and prevent a big enemy ability all in a matter of seconds. Karnak looks pretty good. Now let's take a look at Crystal. Crystal's tags are Hero, Cosmic, Bio, Blaster, and Inhuman. Clocking in at a moderate 110 speed, Crystal has decent damage and focus accompanied by subpar health and armor, which is very typical for a blaster. Again, remember that the Inhuman team has a ton of supplemental defense, including lots of extra health and resistance, chance to gain evade, several passives that kick in when dropping below 50% health, which means that Crystal isn't as vulnerable as she might appear here. Her damage isn't overly impressive, but she's got a ton of quality utility for a blaster. We'll start with Crystal's basic, Fire and Ice. Attack the primary target for 200% damage and apply bleed. Bonus attack for 120% damage and apply slow for 2 turns. The downside to this basic is that it hits twice, meaning it'll be much weaker against high armor targets. However, everything else about this ability is terrific. Applying a bleed makes this a particularly damaging basic, it hits twice to partially counter things like evade and death proof, and it applies a 2-turn slow, which is always to your advantage. Next up, Crystal's special is Rocknado. This ability costs 6 energy and starts full. Attack all enemies for 75% piercing. Repeat this attack 3 additional times. So this is essentially a War Machine special on steroids. Again, this ability comes with some great utility. Hitting 4 times while ignoring armor and being available on turn 1 makes this an instant counter to teams that rely on things like multiple deflects and evades for their safety. What I really love about this ability is that it removes a war boost in a single click. Crystal's ultimate is Cold Snap. This ability costs 6 energy and starts at 3. Attack all enemies for 350% damage. If an enemy has slow, they take 500% damage instead. Apply stun to all summoned enemies. This is a really devastating ability. Paired with Yo-Yo, this will be available on turn 2 as it'll follow the Yo-Yo ult, which gives ability energy. Paired with Quake and Karnak, this should hit pretty much everyone for the full 500% to absolutely devastate, shortly followed by a Quake ultimate and then a Black Bolt ultimate, essentially making this team Power Armor 2.0, and I can't wait to see that. Finally, Crystal's passive is Second Wind. If an Inhuman ally's health is full at the start of a match, the first time that ally drops below 50% health, heal them for 40% of this character's max health and clear 3 negative effects. On turn, change speed bar of the enemy with the highest speed by minus 25%. So I really like this passive for several reasons. First, it solidifies this team as a menacing arena and war team. That much healing is nuts, and a big cleanse is always helpful, especially when they'll also receive defense up from Yo-Yo. This could potentially undo defense downs applied on Dark Phoenix's spawn. I also like that she reduces the speed bar of the fastest enemy on turn, which will really mess with the ability cadence of a ton of teams. So the Inhuman team has shaped up to look absolutely devastating, so let's take a look at them in action against an X-Men hybrid in Arena. Alright, so as you can see, the footage that FoxNext sent us doesn't have an overlay, so I'm going to try to remember pretty much everything that's going on. Hopefully I don't leave too much out, but Yo-Yo being very fast actually goes before Magneto, who's only paired with Juggernaut, and fired off the special. You'll also notice Yo-Yo is going to run and hit everyone as soon as they take a turn, and that's going to be her applying offense down to them. Karnak being the next fastest, he goes... he flips a buff on his turn, and if there isn't a buff to flip from the person that he picks, then he's going to defense down him. So Falcon was offense down for this, and not only that, but the Inhumans spawn with defense up. So aside from Karnak and Yo-Yo, everyone else had defense up. Crystal opens with her special, so that obviously did damage, so I'm not sure what happened. I'm not sure if they're resisting the Magneto blinds, or I have to check if that ability is unavoidable, but I don't think it is. But already, Phoenix has been killed and Dark Phoenix has been summoned, and they're not even done with their opening rotation. Like, this is Quake's first turn, Black Bolt hasn't even gone yet, and they've already done enough damage to kill Phoenix. And I do know that these teams are at even power. I believe they're 7 gold, 4 red, level 75. Everyone's full T4s. But... So yeah, so there's the turn 1 Black Bolt special on Juggernaut here, but what I really love about this team is, again, that they really function like power armor on steroids big time. And that's the start of the combo. Yo-Yo hits everyone with the ult and gives everyone ability energy, and what follows are just a bunch of other AoEs that are just going to absolutely devastate. But what this team has that power armor doesn't is... a lot of other options for sustain. Like Black Bolt obviously just got dropped below 50% because Crystal's passive just went off and healed him a ton and removed any negative effects. So that actually slowed Quake, so that's going to delay her. But here's the Karnak ult, which is going to make Juggernaut uniquely vulnerable. And then there's the Crystal ult, which is going to do a lot, and to anyone who is slowed, they're going to take even more damage. So a little bit of Reflect coming in from Colossus there. So now 2 of the AoEs have gone off. There's still 2 more, which is just nuts. Here's the Black Bolt ultimate right here. And I forget, I think Quake is actually naturally faster than Black Bolt and should have gone before him, but the Magneto Disrupt slowed her. But there's the Black Bolt passive going off, which killed Juggernaut, and so obviously Magneto is pretty crippled. Dark Phoenix just finally got unstunned from the Crystal ultimate, which stuns summons, which again just really, really screws over Dark Phoenix. Not only that, but whenever that Crystal passive is going off, she is healing any Inhuman that drops below 50% and removing the defense down that the Dark Phoenix applied. So yeah, this team is just very non-threatening. Here's another AoE that's part of this wombo. So now Magneto's been tossed. Dark Phoenix, I guess, is still pretty healthy because she hasn't been hit by the Black Bolt passive yet. So I wasn't paying exactly enough attention to how many AoEs she took, but she just took some chain damage there. And I'm not sure when we get a chance to play this team if it's a good idea to play it the way that they did, which is that the Karnak ultimate has already been used. And so you'll see here, now they're going to get stuck attacking Colossus for a bit. It's ultimately not going to matter. They're still going to just take this team apart. And again, the team they were facing was Colossus, Juggernaut, Magneto, Phoenix, and Falcon, which is definitely one of the upper echelon arena teams. But yeah, they're stuck hitting Colossus right now, and I feel like this could have been avoided if they'd saved the Karnak ultimate to make sure that they could just strip all the buffs from Colossus. But yeah, we can't see, so I'm not sure if there was some other reason why they wanted to do that. I know he used it on Juggernaut earlier. I don't know that it was entirely necessary, but they actually end up taking the Dark Phoenix ultimate, which, again, I feel like could have been avoided, but I'm sure Dark Phoenix got the offense down from Yo-Yo, so it wasn't so bad, and then this team has a ton of health, so they seem to have taken the hit pretty well. So there's the random buff flip right there, and I guess Karnak had an evade from Yo-Yo's passive still, so he dodges the Dark Phoenix basic. And finally, he can target whoever he wants, so he goes after Dark Phoenix, drops her below 25%, Black Bolt follows up on her, and then there's the Yo-Yo special, and Dark Phoenix is out, and now it's just a 3v1 to finally finish off Colossus, which they do pretty quickly. So it definitely says something about this team that they can face a Phoenix hybrid at even power and dismantle them. And again, I'm not entirely sure that they even played this optimally, so yeah, pretty impressive. So there you have it. This team looks like a ton of fun, and they come pre-packaged with a massive AoE wombo combo, which is always super fun, so I'm definitely looking forward to their release. Crystal is up next in the Imperial Affairs character event campaign, starting shortly after next patch hits. And lastly, anyone is welcome to join my Discord server, which is discord.gg/Khasino. We have blitz predictions, infographics, videos, data mines, content creator Q&A, and more. Otherwise, that's all for now, but I'll see you guys really soon with more exciting news, so subscribe to the channel and hit that bell if you don't want to miss it. Plus, it makes me feel all warm and fuzzy. Until then, peace!